The deep sea is nothing like anything that exists on land, a place where no sun ever reaches, where darkness rules every corner. Here, a multitude of strange and terrifying creatures roam, monsters that seem to come out of nightmares. Scientists are scared and fascinated by them. They study their strange shapes, glowing bodies, and hunting tricks. Life and death happen in silence and stillness. Predators patiently waiting for hours, sometimes even years, until just the right moment to strike. Time works differently here, and survival depends on cunning, speed, and sometimes just luck. It's a place full of mystery and danger. Hunting strategies that shock. The deep sea isn't just dark. It's a hunting ground where predators have evolved jaw-dropping tricks to catch every meal. Take the anglerfish. In pitch black, it dangles a glowing bait, a bioluminescent lure on a filament ahead of its head. That soft light shines like a tiny light in the darkness, and curious smaller fish, thinking it's a snack, swim right up. Before they even know what's happening, the anglerfish snaps its huge, sharp jaws and swallows them whole. That eerie, glowing bait is not just clever, it is survival in a world where food is rare. Then, of course, there's the fearsome Pacific viperfish, which takes ambush to another level. At the core of its hunting strategy are light-emitting organs, photophores, all over its belly and fins, along with a glowing lure on its dorsal fin that it waves in soft motions like a fishing line. The viperfish drifts motionless in darkness, flicking that lure to mimic prey. Upon approach by an unsuspecting fish entranced by the light, the viperfish strikes with lightning-fast jaws and needle-like teeth. Because it rarely needs to eat and can survive long stretches without food, it can afford to wait patiently for the perfect moment. Some deep-sea hunters push the idea of patience to extremes. In an ocean where meals are few and far between, creatures evolve to be lazy predators, slow, silent, nearly invisible. They don't chase. Hunts are ambushes. For example, several deep-sea creatures use the trick of counter-illumination. They glow faintly from their bellies, matching the watery light from above, so they vanish against the faint backdrop when seen from below. This helps them sneak up on prey, or hide from predators without being detected. There are even predators whose bodies apparently melt and stretch to catch meals. Some deep-sea fish have distensible jaws and huge expandable stomachs, so they can swallow prey much larger than themselves, a handy adaptation in a world where you might get just one chance at a meal in months. For example, some members of the group, including Photostomius gyrnae, have rotating or extendable jaws and gaping mouths that enable them to grab and gulp down prey that drifts a bit too close, even if that prey is relatively big. Then there are the war of light battles. Some deep-sea squids and jellyfish use bioluminescent flashes not to lure prey, but to blind or confuse predators or prey. The luminescence becomes a weapon, a distraction, even a flash bomb. The species Atolla weeville emits a series of bright flashes when threatened, not to hunt, but to attract bigger predators and thus scare away an attacker. Still, other similar bioluminescent tricks can be used by predators to confound prey. In the deep ocean, silence, patience, and light become the hunter's greatest tools. Predators don't chase, they wait, lure, and at times stretch their bodies in ways that defy imagination just to survive. And in that silence, in total darkness, they perform those hunts with horrifying precision. Incredible predatory adaptations. The deep sea contains some of nature's most extreme oddities, such as the pelican eel, sometimes called the gulper eel, which has a mouth that seems utterly impossible. Its jaws are loosely hinged, its throat and stomach incredibly stretchable, allowing it to swallow prey far larger than itself. When it opens wide, the lower jaw expands into a pouch-like trap, much like a pelican's bill, a design meant to scoop up whatever unlucky fish or squid drifts too close. Water is expelled, and prey is retained, as the eel's stomach balloons to accommodate the catch. In this way, even rare meals in the gloom become enough to sustain it. Then there is the Sloane's viperfish with its mouth and teeth, literally the stuff of nightmares. Its fangs are so long that they do not even fit inside when its mouth is closed. They jut out. As if to compensate for that, it has an extremely flexible jaw and skull structure. the viperfish can swing its jaws open to about 90 degrees, then snap them shut at a moment's notice to catch prey. Once inside, the long dagger-like teeth make escape virtually impossible. But it's not all about jaws. Deep in the darkness, eyes and vision matter, or at least special vision adaptations count. Some deep-sea animals have developed eyes or light-related adaptations that help nonetheless. The low-light environment has favored eyes especially sensitive to faint bioluminescence, or species that can produce their own light, giving them a visual edge where sunlight never reaches. Take, for example, cephalopods. Squids mostly move not by slow swimming, but by sudden rushes of velocity enabled by jet propulsion. The latter involves drawing water into a mantle cavity and then forcing it out with force through a funnel, a siphon, which manages to shoot the animal forward or even out of the ocean surface. That is an incredible advantage in the deep, where ambush or escape might mean the difference between life and death. This combination of traits expandable mouths and stomachs, jaws that bend and swing, needle-sharp teeth designed as traps, eyes tuned for darkness, and even speed bursts reveals how deep-sea predators have adapted to a world where prey is scarce, light is nothing, and pressure is crushing. Predators like the pelican eel don't need to chase. They just need to be ready for the occasional drift of prey and then gulp it down. Others, like the viperfish, rely on sudden ambush with biomechanical tricks that defy what we'd expect from normal fish. When you think about it, these are radical departures from the fish and sea life we know near the surface. There is no constant scavenging, no schools of fish to chase relentlessly. Instead, patience, surprise, and extraordinary adaptation. In the abyss, survival is less a matter of speed or strength than but what nature can bend and twist to make the impossible possible. Legendary deep-sea predators. Down in the black depths of the ocean is the vampire squid, a creature whose name alone would make you shiver. The squid isn't out to suck blood, as you might guess. Instead, it survives in some of the lowest oxygen zones on Earth, using a slow metabolism to eke out a living where almost nothing else can. Its body is gelatinous, its arms linked by webbing that gives it a cloak-like appearance, and its eyes, among the largest for its body size in the animal kingdom, are designed to detect the faintest glimmers of bioluminescence in the deep. When threatened, it doesn't ink like shallow water squids. Instead, it curls into a tight ball or unleashes a cloud of glowing mucus, a bizarre luminous escape trick that can confuse predators, giving the vampire squid a chance to vanish into the dark. Then there is the fang-toothed fish. Don't let its modest size fool you, because this fish is rather terrifying in its own right. While the average adult only reaches about 6 inches, or roughly 15-18 centimeters, its teeth are among the largest in the entire ocean in relation to its body size. Those fang-like teeth are so long the fish cannot completely close its mouth when they're protruding. To cope with this, fang-toothed fish have special sockets on the roof of their mouth, right beside the brain, where the lower fanged teeth slide when the mouth closes. Despite its relatively small frame, fangtooth doesn't shy away from larger meals. It feeds on fish, squid, and crustaceans. Among the deep sea's more eerie predators is the goblin shark. This shark almost seems like a relic from some ancient alien ocean. While its body may be soft and flabby, a feature that helps it endure crushing pressure deep underwater, its real danger lies in its jaws. When prey gets close, the goblin shark's jaws shoot forward like a slingshot in a terrifying lightning-fast strike. The forward-thrusting jaws, with their backward-curving needle-like teeth, enable it to snatch fish or squid with deadly precision, although it is not a fast swimmer. Despite its fearsome appearance and dramatic feeding method, there have been no documented cases of goblin sharks attacking humans. The anglerfish, with its glowing lure, is arguably one of the most famous monsters to ever emerge from the deep. In a place where sunlight never reaches, the female anglerfish dangles a bioluminescent bait in front of her gaping mouth. Preys attracted by that faint, ghostly glow drift close, only to be swallowed whole when the anglerfish snaps its jaws shut. The anglerfish shows just how different hunting can be under crushing pressure and total darkness, where patience and deception are more useful than speed or strength. Then there are the elusive giants of the abyss, such as the giant squid. Although actual sightings of live giant squids in their natural habitat are exceedingly rare, mostly because of the deep, dark environment they call home scientific evidence, and the few photographs that we do have point towards creatures of enormous size, powerful tentacles, and an eerie presence. Their very existence teases the possibility that the deep sea might still hold giants largely unknown to science. These predators together remind us that the deep ocean is, for real, very alien. Their weird bodies, monster teeth, explosive jaws, bioluminescence, and bizarre defense tricks are not just freakish, but survival strategies. In this world of darkness, pressure, and scarcity, evolution doesn't favor grace and beauty. It favors what works. And what works often looks like a nightmare from a sci-fi horror story. Mind-bending hunting techniques. One of the most surprising hunters is the stargazer fish. This fish literally buries itself under sand on the seabed, exposing only its upward-facing eyes and mouth. It stays frozen, invisible, until some unsuspecting fish swims above. Then, like a vacuum, it opens its mouth and sucks the prey in. Many stargazers also pack secret weapons, electric organs behind their eyes, that can deliver a shock and venomous spines near their pectoral fins for added defense. Then there is the deadly world of electric hunters, like the marbled electric ray, a type of electric ray. This ray lies motionless on the ocean floor, half buried in sediment during the day. When an unwary fish swims close, the ray wraps its pectoral fins around the prey and unleashes a powerful electric shock up to 200 volts that stuns or kills. It then simply consumes the fish head first. This surprise attack allows a sluggish, slow-swimming ray to take down prey much more agile than itself. Some bottom dwellers use pure camouflage and patience. Take, for example, the angel shark. During the day, it lies buried under sand, exposing only its eyes. At night, this fish becomes active, slowly roaming just above the seafloor. When a suitable prey, often flatfish, squid, or crustaceans, drifts by, the angel shark lunges in with a sudden strike. Such hidden hunters rely less on speed or brute force and more on stealth, timing, and surprise. Take, for example, the so-called crocodile fish, which doesn't even vaguely resemble a crocodile, but manages nonetheless to blend in amazingly well with its surroundings, thus becoming nearly invisible on rubble-filled seafloors. Its eyes are set to spot movement above while its body stays buried. When prey shows up, it strikes in an instant. In this underwater war zone, senses don't always mean vision. They often mean electricity, vibration, and camouflage. Many of these bottom dwellers don't bother chasing. They spend their energy conserving it, staying still, hidden, silent, waiting. When the food is scarce and the environment unforgiving, that strategy works. Camouflaged, stashed like a trap, they remain virtually undetectable until the final moment. What unites all these hunters is that they turn the ocean floor and darkness into their hunting ground. Not one of them fights or chases. They ambush. None of them relies on brute strength, but on nature's version of espionage, invisibility, surprise, electricity, and sand as a cloak. And in the deep sea, patience is a predator's best weapon, and often that means never moving a muscle until the perfect strike. Survival versus predation. Down in the deep sea, survival is never a given. Everything is hard, food is rare, energy is precious, pressure is crushing, and light barely exists. For many deep-sea animals, every meal counts. Take black swallower, for example. This fish is only about 15-25 centimeters long, but when it finds a meal, it doesn't hesitate. It can swallow prey more than twice its size and up to 10 times its body weight, due to a highly stretchable stomach that allows it to bulge like a balloon. In a place where food may drift by rarely, gulping down big prey maximizes energy payoff, a smart survival trick when meals are unpredictable. But being prey doesn't always mean being helpless. Some deep-sea animals fight back. For example, cephalopods like Gonatus onyx, a deep-sea squid, have been observed to consume other squids of the same species. Such cannibalism among the squids is actually quite common. In one long-term study, 42% of the prey consumed by G. onyx were other G. onyx squids. That might sound horrifying, but in an environment where the sources of food are just that bad, eating a competitor, even your own kind, becomes a harsh but effective way to survive. In this world, it's not just the big or the aggressive predators that count. Sometimes being small and opportunistic makes you dangerous. When food is hard to come by, even modestly sized creatures can turn lethal when chance brings them a meal. Animals like the black swallower don't wait for perfect prey. They take almost anything available. Consider also that many deep-sea dwellers live slow, energy-conservative lives. With no regular food, metabolic rates drop, digestion slows down, and some species resort to scavenging whatever scraps arrive from above: dead organisms, waste, and drifting carcasses. Some squid and fish feed on smaller crustaceans, or whatever they can catch, or even carrion, the remains of other dead sea creatures. In that kind of world, flexibility in diet, feeding habits, and even alliances can be the difference between life and starvation. Then there is the even harsher reality. Sometimes there just is not enough food, and what little exists may have already been consumed, or may be just out of reach and too difficult to grasp. For most deep-sea animals, their survival depends on grabbing and holding on to whatever opportunity exists. That is why expandable stomachs, opportunistic feeding, cannibalism, and extreme diet flexibility are common among deep-sea species. The environment demands it. But this world is not one of individual survival. It's a web of desperate interactions in the form of predators and prey, scavengers and competitors, cannibals and survivors. Life operates on raw survival. Eat when you can, don't be picky, and even eat those that are like you. Hunger in the deep sea is not mere discomfort. It's frequently a matter of life and death. Human fascination. Ever since people first wondered what lives below the waves, we've tried to peek into the abyss. Explorers have used simple diving bells, essentially underwater bubbles of air, to descend a little beneath the surface. As our ambitions grew, so did technology. Tiny submersibles like Alvin, built in the 1960s, became legendary, carrying human scientists down to dark, cold depths, letting them see sea life in its real home for the first time. But even the most robust human-carrying submarine has limits. Pressure, darkness, and depth make direct human dives dangerous or impossible in many parts of the ocean. That's where robots came in. Over decades, scientists built unmanned devices, robots, camera sleds, and underwater vehicles that can survive conditions humans can't. A good example is ROV Sebastian. This remotely operated underwater vehicle can dive thousands of meters, film in high-resolution video, measure water conditions, gather samples, and map seafloor terrain, things impossible for divers to do reliably. Due to robots like this, and newer generations even smarter than them, researchers regularly find brand new species, ecosystems, and strange life forms that nobody knew existed. Beyond cameras and sampling arms, some laboratories attempt to bring deep-sea animals to the surface in controlled conditions to learn how they survive high pressure, cold, and darkness. For example, a device called Abyss Box simulates deep-sea pressure that enables scientists to keep Batial fauna alive long enough to study their adaptation and physiology. All this human effort, from daring dives in submersibles to remote robots clicking on at the bottom of the sea, reflects a deep fascination. The deep sea isn't just underwater, it's one of the final frontiers on Earth. Every dive, every sample, every video feed has the potential to rewrite how we think of life, evolution, and survival. What scientists learn from deep-sea predators and strange creatures does more than just wow us. It teaches us about evolution under extreme conditions. Life down there evolves strategies that seem almost alien in nature: transparent bodies, bioluminescence, extremely slow metabolisms, and pressure-resisting cells. Their study helps in understanding how life adapts where the usual rules do not apply: plenty of oxygen, light, food. Because we still know so little, Only a small fraction of the ocean floor has been explored in detail. Every expedition can yield surprises, new species, odd survival strategies, ecosystems built around chemical vents or darkness. In a way, our research is a kind of storytelling, a mixture of deep curiosity, science, and the human urge to know what lies just beyond our sight. We send submersibles, robots, even pressure boxes to bring back glimpses of a world so different we can hardly envision it. And every time we learn something new, it feels like peeling back a layer of Earth's greatest mystery. Shocking fun facts to sprinkle throughout. The deep sea is a treasure trove of weird, wild creatures, many of which reveal fun, freaky facts that make you stop, stare, and maybe sleep with the lights on. Here are a few of those mind-bending truths about deep-sea life told through the weirdest survivors in the abyss. Have you ever thought that the pattern of glow is a sort of ocean magic trick? Take the hatchetfish. Its belly carries a row of light-producing organs, photophores that glow downward. By matching the dim light coming from above, this fish can essentially erase its own shadow-meaning predators below, looking up see empty water, not dinner. That's called counter-illumination, a brilliant camouflage trick against lurking hunters. Other animals use bioluminescence not to blend in, but to confuse or trap prey. A viperfish, for instance, carries a glowing lure, a small light tip dangling forward of its mouth that acts like a fishing rod in the dark. Small fish venture close, attracted by the glow, and dart right into the viperfish's deadly fangs. Then there is the concept of speed, not of swimming, but of striking. Though not exclusively a deep-sea animal, mantis shrimp are the shallow water relatives of deep-sea crustaceans, and merit a mention here. Their spiked appendages can perform a punch at over 50 miles per hour, the fastest recorded strike in the animal kingdom. That punch generates cavitation bubbles. Their collapse sends a shockwave and stunning force into prey shell or hide. The mantis shrimp isn't a deep-sea fish, but its speed punch does show how marine life sometimes wins not by size or stealth, but by the physics of rapid force. Some of the most astounding survival stories come from small, deep-sea fish, which are absolute gluttons. The black swallower is only about 15-25 centimeters in length, but it can swallow fish of twice its own length and up to 10 times its own mass. Yes, you have read that correctly. Its jaw and extremely stretchable stomach allow it to gulp down prey a lot bigger in size compared to its own body, as an adaptation to the scarcity of food in such dark depths. That extreme eating habit sometimes backfires, as some black swallowers have been found floating near the surface, bloated because the prey they swallowed had started decomposing before digestion finished. The gases build up, buoyancy rises, and off goes the poor predator to the surface, its feast turning into a fatal balloon ride. But beyond hunger and camouflage, some deep-sea creatures are simply living relics, prehistoric predators that have changed little over millions of years. The goblin shark, for example, is often called a living fossil. Its lineage goes back roughly 125 million years. With an extendable jaw and electroreceptors that sense tiny electric fields from prey, the goblin shark lies in wait near the sea floor, then shoots its jaw forward with incredible speed to grab unsuspecting fish or squid. Even more ancient is the coelacanth, once believed extinct until scientists caught one alive off the coast of Africa. These deep-sea fish first appeared in the fossil record about 400 million years ago. They move slowly, living in caves and rocky slopes, a living link to prehistoric seas, and a powerful reminder that evolution sometimes values survival over change. In other words, the deep ocean is a world where glowing camouflage means invisibility. Tiny mouths are vacuum cleaners for larger prey. Speed means not swimming but striking. And entire lineages survive across hundreds of millions of years. These are not wow facts, but nature's hard-earned lessons in survival under pressure, darkness, and scarcity. And that wraps up our exploration into the deep sea's strangest, smartest, and most unbelievable hunters. If you enjoyed exploring this dark world where every creature has a shocking secret, make sure to hit like, subscribe, and drop a comment about which predator blew your mind the most. There's so much more hidden beneath the waves, and we're just getting started. Thanks for watching. And until next time, stay curious, stay brave, and keep exploring deeper.